All right, how we doing tonight, everybody? Let me know if you could see my screen and hear my voice clearly, please. Fantastic. Okay. You guys know the typical 4.41 rule, CFTC. Do not use money, lose money you cannot afford to lose. Do not take unnecessary risks. Just when you get bored one day, read this thing. This is just a small piece of it. It's huge. All right. So, welcome back. Missed you guys last week. Hope everybody's doing well. We are winding up Q2, and we are almost halfway through the year. Technically, we're halfway through, but a couple more days, and it's 180 in front of us and 180 behind us. It's going fast. It always does. I can't tell you how many times I draw these and X out these calendars, and it's just done. All right, so obviously at the end of the quarter, I always talk about how to get ready for next quarter, how to move forward, right? So you need to start looking forward to what you're going to do for the next 3 months. If you're going on vacation, great. If you're still grinding it out and you're going to be home, then you need to figure out how to set up a working plan. We talk about this all the time. I've been beating this to death, but I only get a handful of them from people. Maybe you guys are secretly doing it and just don't want me to know. I don't know the reason, but send me something, man. What I usually do with the calendar is when I map out my next 3 months, I'll mark out the days that I'm not available and the days that I am, then look at news events that surround that and figure out where I'm at with everything. If you run in a business, you try to make yourself or your vacations line up with FOMC or non-farm payroll weekends. Since you shouldn't be trading anyway, then you should plan on going on a long weekend break on Thursday night right before non-farm, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I mean, it's just, if you owned a shop and had to open a shop, that's exactly how you would do it, right? If you had a weekend sale, you'd be there that weekend. So this is no different. Just because you're working from home or you're working on your telephone doesn't mean that you can't find ways to make this stuff fit, right? You need to mark up usable, unusable days, and then project forward. Whatever you did last quarter, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you marked one chart, try to increase it to 2 next time. Maybe add a skill. You're going to be better at your stop placement. You're going to tighten it up, right? You're going to increase your return on equity. You're going to get a little bit more patience when you enter. When you feel like pulling the trigger, you're going to count to 10 and then wait and see how that candle closes. There's some way to improve on this. You just got to figure out what it is for each person or for yourself. So if you're always getting in too soon, when you feel mentally ready to pull the trigger, wait for that bar to close. If you're trading 15-minute bar entries, cut it down to a 5-minute chart on the entry only. Don't analyze the chart on a 5-minute time frame. Analyze the chart in the 1 hour, 15-minute, and make your entries on the 5. I can't say this enough. I talked about it 2 weeks ago, and I was talking about globalizing the levels and what you're looking for. You're looking for a micro trigger or a smaller time frame trigger on a 1 minute or a 5-minute chart. You do not analyze 1 minute and 5-minute charts. You analyze the larger time frame. 1 hour is the base here. And you drop down to make the entry. If you want to monitor the 15-minute for flips or patterns, M's and W's, shift bars, when you get that, you cut the 15-minute bar in 3 pieces and you make a better entry. Maybe you get a 5-minute chart that gives you an evening star formation, right, on a 5-minute, and on a 15 it would basically just be a bar like this with a tail or a wick, right? But if you break it down to 5 minutes, you would have this pattern, and that would give you an entry. You're still entering there. But maybe when you see this and you know that you're in the zone or the zone is holding, then you can get in 5 minutes earlier at the swing high point. And that would give you a 0 entry with a stop right there instead of here with the stop here. Those are the ways you make adjustments in the business. right? If you own a Nike store, I always go to the shoe store. If you own a Nike store and you're selling out of the black Jordans, you're going to buy 500 pair of black Jordans on the next order. Okay, so if you're getting in late here and you want to make an adjustment, this is how you adjust your inventory in the shoe business. This is how you adjust your inventory here. You're saving money on your entries. You're getting a better price to turn more of a profit faster. It's no different than any other business. You just have to look at it with a different lens and understand what you're doing. There's some way for you to improve next quarter. If you're trading straight lot sizes, you're doing really well, then you need to add the spreadsheet. You need to add more lots or scale your lots. If you're only taking 1 or 2 trades a week, you need to figure out a way to take 5 trades a week. Okay, if this is your systematic approach by taking less trades, by taking only 4-hour entries, then you need to add the spreadsheet and scale your lots. It's simple stuff, but no one's doing it. There's a handful of people doing it. I apologize. There are a handful of people doing it. But the norm is you come in, you trade one lot, you get comfortable, and then you don't scale from there. You're not leveraging your money and the leverage that the dealer gives you correctly if you don't make these adjustments in the business. Right? And this planning stuff, it was just something that was taught to me on the fire department, scheduling and check downs and all that. And it's something I was doing, but this guy, this 12-week year book, kind of like made it into something that we could all talk about, like a reference point. And it works. It's good stuff, man, but you got to do it. That's the biggest problem, is you got to do it. You got to take the time to figure it out, right? Here we are, April gone, March, May gone. We're sitting on the last week of June, right? Today's the 22nd, right? Here we are, finish out this week. We're going into the 4th of July holiday. And I remember back here when I was saying this is coming, the end of the quarter, and here we are, it's on us. Next Wednesday when we meet, it's the end of the quarter. All right, so if you had a shitty run up till now, you got half a year left, right? Half the year is gone, and you got half a year in front of you. What are you going to do different? What's the move from here? Go to the beach, throw in the towel literally in the back of your car and go to the beach? What are you going to do? You came to me for a reason, and you're afraid to talk to me or afraid to send me shit, and it hurts my feelings in a way. I'm not that guy, man. I got a type A aggressive personality. My wife probably hates it. I can't help how I am, but deep down inside, I care about every one of you and I want you to succeed. I love the business and I want to pass the torch, man, to the next couple generations. Send me something, man. Don't be afraid to talk to me. Send me something. I'm never going to shred you in public. And if I shred your email or your letter, which I think I'm going to do tonight, by the way, here I am saying I don't shred anybody. I'm not going to mention your name, man. You'll know who you are when I read it. You know, I'll never mention your name, man, period. Unless it's congratulations for qualifying or tripling your account or something. All right, so enough of this, right? Where we're going, okay? We're here, June's over. You got to start looking forward, right? You could just look at this. Okay, this is trash right here, right? This is a US holiday, banks closed. So this would be a good week to take off, because if you're going to go take off, you're going to finish up the quarter, right? You have this Friday, right? I didn't look at non-farm, but it's probably around here somewhere. So this will be a good week with the Monday bank holiday and non-farm payrolls coming out. It's a good week. It's a good week to take your vacation, take a break. If you owned a shop, you would plan it perfectly. If you owned an ice cream shop, you wouldn't take off July, August, and September. You'd go on vacation in December when there's snow on the ground. So you're in the trading business. This is when you take off. You take off on non-farm payroll and FOMC, and maybe you put together in August, maybe you put together a long weekend on non-farm and you take your family somewhere. You got to make this shit work, man. If you don't work it, it ain't going to work. I don't know any other way to say it, right? There's all these stupid sayings. You could think of a million of them. Plan your work your plan. I can't even think of half of them, but it's the same thing, man. It's any business is the same. You get what you put into it. All right, okay, so map out what you're going to do July, August, and September. These are tough months, man. People don't want to be bothered. They want to hang out with their kids. I get it. But this is when you got to roll up your sleeves and find the time, even if it's just marking charts and homework and maybe make some projections, right? You know, guys know how to make projections. You draw what you think is going to happen in GU, right? You think, oh, today's going to be stop hunt, low rise. You make that projection on the chart and then you see if it comes true. That's it. And you draw an idea where you think it'll come in. You know what? There's a blue tracer right here, laying right on yesterday's open. Man, that looks like a zone to me. I think they're going to stop hunt into there. That's it. You don't have to show it to anybody, but the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And then you're going to be making really good projections and predictions of what price is going to do. And that's how you start making the money, because you're going to see, man, you know what? I was right 9 out of 10 times. That's 90%. And if I just would have actually took them, I'd be up 1,000 pips today. It's that simple, but you got to take the step, man. I know it's summer and you guys don't want to hear this shit today, but I'm just telling you, the emails are slowing down and I know something's up. All right, so next quarter, right? You know, we got Labor Day in here. For me, it's my anniversary. Everyone knows I got married 8808 and I'm not Chinese, but it's good luck on their calendar. People always ask me that. So I got to do something in here. Labor Day, right? Kids are back in school. This is the weekend. My kids go to school late. They start end of August into September. So Labor Day weekend, we're off. And then it turns normal into the last quarter of the year. Then you got October. What do you got? Halloween. Maybe you're trick or treating. I don't know. Right. And then this is it. When you get here, the year's pretty much over. Right. I'm guessing that this is going to be Thanksgiving this year. From here, right? This week, Wednesday shot. Most people just kill this whole week. And then a week or two left and you're into Christmas. So let me see what we're looking at. Let me erase this stuff. All right, so what do we have here? This is the new quarter. So this week doesn't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So your 12-week year is going to end a week early, so you can afford to take a week off in here for vacation. It ain't going to kill you. If you do 4th of July week, then you would end up here with 13 weeks. 13 weeks are cool because you could do 11 or 10 or 11 weeks and take a vacation in here and still end up in a good spot with your time. All right. Then you go, okay, then where we are here, October 1st. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you end, maybe you do 11 weeks and you end the week going into Christmas. And then you're going to miss some time in here in Thanksgiving. And that's it. So maybe you end on the second week, second full week in December, and then you have from here off for the holidays, these 2 weeks off. Then we reset. We'll have our first of the year meeting, and you start over, man. Just like that, a whole nother year down. Are you where you're supposed to be? That's the question. All right. I can't answer it for you. But if you need my help, you need to send me an email and ask for it. My hand is extended. It's been extended since day one on this journey. My palm's up. My fingers are extended, reaching for you. If you don't reach for my hand, shame on you, because it's extended to you. All right, man. That's all I got on that tonight. All right, so I grabbed some mail. I usually get some interesting ones, and I'm going to read this. It's for someone in the group. Maybe you recognize the dialect. Maybe you do. Don't. Doesn't matter. Hello, Mr. Steve. It's so-and-so. I really tried to understand the 5200 concept and direction, but I still kind of suck at it. I made my account drop by 30%. I can't understand the direction. I tried really hard. What should I do? Okay, what should we do? Okay, so first thing I want to do is I want to put it to you guys. What I'm asking is for you guys maybe to post and chart a little bit. Tell me how you turn the corner on the directional bias. What set it off for you? What was the one thing that you were like, I see this shit now? Everyone has their aha moment. Post it up there for me in the chats. Just say, oh, it was when I saw this or I saw that. Don't be shy. Guess it would help if I expand the box a little bit because I'm blind. All right, man. Let's see. All right, you guys are killing me. I got to get my readers. Hold on, man. I got the extra large font on these slides, and 10, 12 years ago when I started this, I didn't need them, and now I need them. The extra large font and the readers. It's terrible. All right, some people said ADR cleared it up for them. Some people said the crossover, but you're having trouble seeing the crossover. Are you still here, the person that wrote this? Don't leave. This whole session is for you. All right. So, okay, some people said drills, exercises, yes. All right, for me, it was one drill and one drill only that helped me, and it was the high-low drill. And I don't know if you've done the high-low drill, but if you have, I'm going to clear it up how it's supposed to be done. And if you're struggling in the dark, someone listening quietly, this is for you, man. Okay, this to me is by far the greatest and fastest way to obtain success. You stay focused on price action and you kind of get a feel for the pair you're trading. I recommend the majors and the majors only. None of this exotic cross bullshit. No GJs. Okay, GU or EU. Okay. Do not use the big board for this exercise. Use a chart. Okay. Stay focused on price action only and try to feel how GU is. You cannot do this in market replay. Market replay, the speed is either faster or slower, and you can't speed it up in between bars and then slow it down at the points. You can't do it. It's got to be real market timing. If you're going to do it and send it to me, I want the strings, and I want to see what you're doing. And I'll show you. Some people don't know what the strings are. I'm going to show you what the strings are. Okay, there's only a handful of people that I actually have all this time teaching, man. I only have a handful of people that ever sent this to me. Okay, the person that wrote this email to me, you need to start today. It is mandatory for you, and it's not mandatory for anybody else. And I want your strings every week for the next 6 weeks. If you use the big board, you cheated yourself. All right, the drill is a 6-week exercise. Okay, the first 2 weeks, I want you to pick one instrument, and I'm not asking, it's GU. I want you to trade the London Open, and I want you to try to catch the high and low of the day with a 5-pip stop. And I want you to try as many times as you can and don't quit. So here's what you do. Actually, let me go through the slides and I'll draw it. All right, the second 2 weeks, try to catch the high and low of the day within 5 tries with the 5-pip stop. So what happens is you do this for a couple weeks and your price is going up and you're trying to grab it and you're getting stopped out. That's fine. You finally figure it out, you take enough stabs at it, and you got it. Okay. Now, on the next set of tries for the next 2 weeks, you only get 5 tries. You have to be able to do it within 5 tries. If you get it in 3 or 2, great. But you need to take as many times as it takes. On this one, 5. If you blow it, you start over, 1 through 5. The goal, okay, let's say you do it in level 1, you take 5 tries, and you blow it, okay, you wait for another shift, and you take 5 tries. The goal is to try to get it where you're not doing this nonsense anymore and get it down into 5 tries and successfully do it. And I don't care if you sit there all day and all night. That's what it takes, man. That's what I did. And I didn't have the luxury of these charts and these boxes and all the stuff that we created since we started this. All right. The next 2 weeks, which is going to be week 5, Try to catch the high and low of the day within 3 tries. Right? Groups of 3s, many times as it takes. Okay? And then this is it right here. 6 weeks out, 6 weeks from today. Today is June 22nd. I'm going to mark it on the calendar. 6 weeks from today. You need to take 1 try only with a 10 pip stop or less. And that's it. That should be, you do this for 1 whole week. And you get 1 try. If you blow it, you wait a few minutes and go at it again. But the goal is to take 1 stab only. Okay? This is what strings look like, by the way. These are some submissions that were given to me and they're done incorrectly. Okay? So here's what happens. All right, actually, I'm going to wait. Can you guys tell me what's wrong with this? This is almost okay. Okay, so what's wrong with this submission is that why did the person go in there? Okay, first of all, here's the top of Asia. 1, 2, 3. I could see 3 pushes there. Everyone can see that, right? Okay, then he got 2 more subsequent pushes. So if this first trade was executed anywhere, it should have been here. Then this structure would have been here, and this structure would have been here, and he would have finally got it within 3 tries. Right? But he sat through all this drawdown and did not capture the high of the day. This person didn't use the stops right because they were trying to cycle it and they don't like to lose, all this stupid crap that he told me. Whatever. I don't want to hear it. You understand? So if you don't take into consideration the original elements that I taught you and you throw all the shit out the window that we've been talking about for 12 years, what are you doing? Okay, I want you to ignore the moving averages and I want you to try to find the top of the market, which would be here. And by the end of the 6-week period, you should be executing in here and in here with the stop slightly above the structure. And then you're going to close out down here or down here. The idea is to get a trade on and realize that you are at the dead top of the market and then you have ADR in front of you. Okay? I don't know what you did on the big board, but the way I did it on the big board is I took the top number and the bottom number at 1 a.m. Eastern time in New York, and I added 50 to it. If it was GBP, I added 50. And I was looking for some numbered target up here. So if price was $1.16, I would add 50 to that. 16 and 50 is 66. I was looking for 166 as an area to start trying to short. Okay? The idea is to try to get it down to a few swipes at it. And when you get good at doing that, you're going to kill it. This was the biggest thing that turned it for me. Because it gives you a couple of things. It gives you, I don't know what to call it, execution guts. Right? It gives you execution guts. This one, I don't even know what this was going on here. This is literally no. This makes me angry when I see stuff like this. Literally right in the Asian range. Anything above here for a sell, anything below here for a buy. Right? So, excuse me today. The drill is supposed to be like this, okay? Price comes out of the Asian range, right? It's the basic stuff. It's all the stuff we've been talking about forever. Price breaks out of the Asian range, push 1, push 2. You don't deal in here. Push 3. Right now, how far is this? Is it greater than 25 to 50 pips, depending on the pair, right? Is it greater than 25 pips or greater than 20 pips? Then you start looking for a place to deal. What would you get? Vertical market, outside bar, flat print, inside structure. Those are the reasons that make you start triggering. Okay, so if you have 5 orders to use, right? I'm assuming you've done the unlimited part. If you have 5 orders to use, and you have to get all 5 orders on, by the way. I want you to get all your orders on when you're doing 5s and 3s. Okay, so you have an outside bar. The idea is if you're using 5 orders, you try to use 3 in the consolidation, right? And if you are wrong and the dealer extends the high again, you'll know this by a flip. He'll close above, pull back, fish into the area like a breakout trade, and then go higher. Then you try to use the next batch of 2 that's left to average in somewhere and try to come out by grabbing the high safely and try to get past the original entries, and then you can close the cycle. Right? It's no different than the aggregate ATM we used to use. An ATM is Automated Trade Manager, or they call it an EA and MT4, right? So the idea is that you got push 1, push 2, push 3, you think you got it, and you start going in heavy, and then the dealer extends the high one more time. Okay, if you spent your entire shot, all 5 units, you're out of gas. You got to sit through this or you got to take the stop. So the idea would be to spread trade it, right? Have 2 units left, and then if you get a big outside bar with a pin, then you deal in after the pin. And then you got all 5 orders on. Your average entry maybe is here, and then all you need to get break even is back to here, and then you're in profit when it closes below there. It's not a hard drill to do, right? And these are the elements, man. I've been talking about this shit since day one, since my first sales presentation at Compass, right? Actually, before that, at that school, I probably shouldn't say their name. They hate me. I threw their textbook in the garbage, and they never forgave me for that one, right? What's the AR criteria? What are the things? I don't know what happened, but I haven't talked about this stuff in a long time, and people like threw it out the window. And I can't tell you how that, like, I don't know if the right words annoy me or hurts my feelings. It's something. It rattles around in there and it hurts. I don't know which. I don't know if I'm upset, mad. I don't know what's the matter with me, but it bothers me. All right, so AR criteria. Asian range less than 50 pips, right? If we're in a seller's book or a sell side market, stop hunt high drop. That's what we're expecting, right? 15 minutes the answer to that. You're monitoring on the 15-minute. The 1 hour for direction. If you got a crossover on the 1 hour, okay, the question is, what are you looking at on the 5200? The 1 hour crossover on a 5200 on a 1 hour chart is very powerful for direction for the next couple of days. But you want to monitor that like a bounce trade or a crossover, right? So, all right, I'm off topic for a second, but look, if you're looking at moving averages, right? Okay, so what happens is you have a 50 and a 200, right? 50 is the day tracer, right, or the day line. 50 is the watermark or the volume weighted moving average for current price, right? So let's say up in here you get an M formation. The safest trade or the best trade is when the M is formed, price crosses below the apex nadir thing, crosses below the moving average, and then taps back into the average. Usually you can get a zone right where it's all going to come together, the culmination of it. And this might not be crossed at the time, or if price is a little lower, it'll be crossed, it'll be down here. But you can get a pretty great entry as a bounce trade intraday within the same day. Intra, right? Within the same day. Right? Usually there'll be a pin here or railroad tracks, right? And this would be, if there's a pin, you can draw a level off of this, right? Because we know this is the last place before they broke it that the dealer pushed the book back to the buy side, right? You understand what's going on here. Buyers have control, right? They're sucking up the orders, the sellers hitting the stops. They pull back, right? Book map stuff here. There's a stripe in the book, right? There's a stripe in the book. Just because price fell away doesn't mean that the orders aren't still bright red or orange in the book. Still sitting there pending, holding this pressure, right? Sometimes they just throw an order block in there, and there's black space on either side. They stop it. They turn it back up. Okay, What happens is they'll throw another level of orange or red in here. Then there'll be spacing in between, and this will be black space and dark, a couple of dark orders above that. That's dealer insurance. This is what it looks like when they're forming the high of day. Almost every freaking time that I've looked at it for the last since 2014, this is how it's structured out. When they're working the high of the day, there's a hole, black space in there, and then they just put some pending dealer insurance up there. That means to me that no matter what happens, you ain't getting through that shit today. It's going to turn. Okay, and they'll put just enough order blocks to create the turn and keep it below, right? That's where if they don't take out the level and turn came from. Or if they spike the level and come back through, the insurance kicked in and they rejected it. That's where the pin comes. The pin comes through the black space in the book. When there's orders here and orders here, and the bar body goes up to here and then it spikes through, that's what stops the spike, and they call it capping. It's an order block or insurance to make sure that it doesn't go another tick higher. Because this is already on thin volume, that's why it's a rejected wick, because there's not a lot of orders in there. It's retail traders get absorbed fully by the sharks. When I say sharks, I mean the dealers. That's how a pin is formed in the book. It's a low volume move because retail traders don't have the volume, and the dealers just suck it all up and push it right back down and go. They probably say nanny nanny boo boo like when you were a kid, right? They got you. They like swatted you down, smacked you, whatever, beat you when you're in your high chair. I don't know, whatever your parents did to you. I had all that shit done to me. All right, so that's how that comes. So when this area either spikes above and comes back below, then you know you got the M formation. Now you're looking for a break of this area clean on a close, and then a pullback into and some type of micro M or micro A formation. That's how this comes together, right? But the thing is, you shouldn't even be looking for this until these elements are in play, right? In session, inside, or in the London shadow. I can't tell you how many people have sent me charts recently, and I don't know what happened, but they come right out of Asia and they're already taking stuff. The concept of a shadow box is to tell you when you're in session, right? This is the 1 o'clock spread, initial spread of the day. I haven't said this, so maybe you guys forgot. This is the initial spread, right? You take the number here, you add 25 to 50 pips above and below. Now you're looking for a stop hunt in 3 pushes, but the stop hunt should be pre-London and into the shadow, and then the formation would be ideal if it happened from here forward. That's the ideal situation. You're in session. False move session beginning, false move session ending. So what happens is you have Asian end, London open, false move, reversal, right? And then you want to trade London, you want to get hot within the first half of the session. Ideally, the first quarter to third of the session, you want to be hot. And I mean hot, you mean on the books, open, dealing, whatever. That's ideal because you notice they go to lunch. Same, just like, hey, guess what? They eat lunch just like us in America. They eat lunch in London. The Asian session, everybody eats lunch. So that's why you get an aggressive move, and then around their noon time, it goes flat, and then it finishes up till about 6, 7 a.m., and then they flat print or start to reverse. So you want to be hot here early, just inside the shadow, right, from here forward, and you want to look for an exit here or adjust your stops during the lunch break, hoping for continuation. And ironically, it's like push 1, push 2 lines up with around lunchtime, push 3 lines up with the end of the session, then you get the reversal off the bottom. You can't make this up, man. It's the typical push cycle. Right? And the components of the M&W, I just went over how the book plays them out. And then time in the level. Right? Timings of the boxes, but time in the level. If there's a flat print for 3 freaking days and they're spiking high and pulling back, if you don't know which way they're going by now, you're fired. And don't even let them fool you with some higher move closing and then come all the way back across. If they're flat printing or they're arch printing, right, erase this stuff. All right, if they go up outside bar and then they flat print like this, and this goes on for a day or two, okay, then You look to the left, what do you got? You got a vertical market. Don't get in front of a vertical market. It's coming to an end. Let it play itself out. Let it flat print, right? Then you could box this stuff up, and then you can look for this back into the range. We just went over this a couple weeks ago, but it bears repeating. It's important, man. All right, time in the level, couple of days, couple of 3 days. That's telling. Flat print for 3 days. They're getting ready. They're winding it up, right? I always talk about this wedge type thing, right? Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. Sorry, right? They get higher level longs, lower level shorts, right? Higher level longs, lower level shorts, LLS, and they suck them in. And they keep tightening it up like a spring, and then they might hit the stops and drop or break out and give you this stupid pattern where they break out, retest the trend line crap. You know better than that. They might stop hunt high, but not above this level, and then come right back through the wedge that they built. It's just basic stuff, but the stuff I'm getting, people are missing this. That's why I'm covering this tonight. All right, good. All right, what else? Okay, talking about background stuff, high and low, right? I talked about it. Blue tracer, day projection, shark fin, flat prints, spike candles, rejections, rounds and halves. Okay, this is the stuff in the background that a lot of you are missing, right? I can't tell you how many times in my career, 23 years, I'm old. I know some of you aren't even 23 years old, right? So anyway, look, the blue tracer, i.e. the red one today, right? If the blue tracer is in your view and the day open is down right here with it, right? The day open, that's a zone. So if price comes through and you have yesterday's high, it would be like this, or yesterday's low even, it trades below and comes into this area, spikes and comes back, that's the area. Get to work. Deal. Okay? If you get a blue tracer from yesterday, that means it was yesterday's low in this example, and price comes back and spikes it and comes back above, man, that's a W if there ever was one in your life. And the same goes for the inversion of it, an M. Yesterday's tracer, it could even be, I don't know if you noticed, but it's crazy. Take the tracers and draw them. I've done that, but I draw my own boxes now. But you could take the blue tracer from 2 days ago and the blue tracer from yesterday, and if it's doing this, right, you can go back and go, man, there's a couple of blue tracers lined up right there. That looks like a box where I come from. And then you got your Asian range minding this business down here, hanging out. Then you're like, 1, 2, 3 into the blue tracer zone, drop. That's your entry. Maybe a retest into it. Always look for the break of the apex nadir or some kind of swing point where you get absorption, and then look for the retrace as your entry. You might get an A and you might get an M. But don't be afraid to deal from here. No one's going to be mad at you, especially I'm not going to be mad at you if you send me a chart and you drew this shit up and you dealed from here, but they took it out. Man, that just happens in the business. That means they had more interest in raising price against the sellers than they did in selling against the buyers. It's book stuff, and you have no way to know. Even if you own the freaking tool, you don't know. Because there's spoofing, there's hidden stuff, there's iceberg shit, there's things you can't, even with the tools, they still have an edge on us. And it's shitty. It should be illegal, but it's not. That's why they're rich, and we're all trying to get rich, right? So it's the game. But the thing is this, I'm giving you the confines to work in, or I'm showing you how the game is rigged. Don't be the guy with chalk on your back. That means a mark. Don't be a mark. Trade like these guys and understand what's going on. If you're not asking yourself these questions or doing these little nuanced things, and I've been at this a long time, so I could sit here and say, oh, why the hell can't you see that? I get it. But the only way to see it is to do the background work, and nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to come in, throw money at me and trade, show up on Wednesday like I'm a minister and I give you your sermon, and you feel good till Sunday, and then you go out and commit, I don't know, adultery, murder, something, right? Cheat on me. I'm not a preacher, man. I'm just a guy that was fortunate enough to know this stuff. But the thing is, I'm giving it to you, and you're turning your nose up at it like it's spoiled fish or something. Just do the work. Send me the stuff. I know it's summer and the weather's beautiful out and the days are long if you live up north. They're about the same if you live in the south. Just hot and light till late and dark, and then light early, more heat. But listen, you have the keys to the city. You just gotta make some plans and work them. That's what the 12-week year is about. I'm trying to teach you how to tie all this stuff together. I had an extensive background in checklists and safety requirements and all this garbage. That's what I feel helped me, because I had lives on the line. You know, I've told you these stories. You go to a scene and you pull that Briggs and Stratton lawnmower engine on your hydraulic tool, and that thing doesn't start. That shit's on me. Somebody dies in that car because that engine won't run. You can't cut them out, and they die. I got to live with that shit for the rest of my life. That, man, I let somebody die on a scene because I didn't check the oil level in the engine. You understand? If you can approach this with some urgency and really do the stuff, it'll help you. We used to do drills all the time on the fire department, trying to get everyone to work in unison. You know, like firefighter, driver, captain, can man. Like, everyone had a different position. If we pull up on an accident scene, I was the driver. I set up the rescue tools. The onboard paramedic would jump into the car with the patients. That was his job. The firefighter would secure the vehicle so it doesn't roll or doesn't fall over a cliff or doesn't collapse on the people inside if it's inverted. The captain would get a helicopter in the air. He would secure the scene, stop the flow of traffic around us. It's just everyone had an assignment. And when you get on scene, you didn't go, oh, what should we do, man? I don't know. That looks like an M. Oh, maybe I'll trade that. It wasn't like that. The prep was done before the call came in. The prep was done for 3 years in school and becoming an EMT and doing the work before they stuck me on a fire engine. It was hours and hours, hundreds of hours spent at the training ground, working as a crew and hopping off. And if you're in this position, if you're a driver, this is your duties. If you're the captain, this is your duties. And knowing that when you got on scene and the bell went off, there was no question what you were supposed to do. I mean, there's people that weren't that great at it, and they were like, oh, what do I do, man? Damn it, you're supposed to get in the car with the patient. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that. You know what I mean? There's in any profession or business, there's people that love it and there's people that are just there. Don't be somebody that's just here. Listen to this sermon every week about M's and W's. Do something. All right. So tie it all together. Look at this chart real quick and just tell me what I've been talking about. This is the chart I used 2 weeks ago. It's the same thing. You know why? Because it's SSDD, man. Over and over and over. Mark this up real quick and email it to me tonight, but I'm going to go over it in a minute. I'm going to shut my mouth for a minute, and then, believe it or not, I'm going to. All right, bye. All right. A lot of you put some ideas in there. Okay. So, first of all, look what's going on. This is the stuff I've been talking about. This is a 1-hour chart, by the way, right? These are the patterns. Okay. Fishing in the low, right? Look, down, evening star, back up, or morning star, evening star, right? So you would just take this and you would box this in, right? The tops of the bodies. Now, look how funny this is. The tops of the bodies in the wick. That's your zone, right? Okay. So that's your zone. Now, look how the next day, right? This is how it ended the day. Look how the next day it respected and traded off the low. What does that mean? Trap traders, right? Trap traders. Spiked in there, got them. I mentioned this is a 1 hour chart. This is a 1 hour chart. Make sure you know what you're looking at. Okay, so they rejected high, rejected low. What do? You draw a line here. You draw a box. Tops of the bodies, maybe get in some of this aggregate. It just takes patience and time messing with this stuff. There's your zones right there. Okay. Ideally, you have an idea what can happen tomorrow. Right? Here's your wicks, tops of the bodies. Stretch this out. It's SSDD, man. It's the same shit. Okay, roughly. Okay, they go into the highs. Same thing. They go into the highs. They're fishing high, rejected, fishing high, rejected. Right? Curled right there. Fishing high, rejected. Break. Close below. Tap back into. That's a perfect sell for the day. You trade it down to this level or this level where you expect a reversal, or at least, at the very least, an end of day move, right? End of day move would be spike into the low, pull back, come back, mid-level consolidation. So this would be your London Open shadow box right there. I can't see. I think that's it right there, right? Or maybe right here. Okay, London Open shadow box. They spike below. They take out the perceived apex nadery thing, and they come right back and tap right back into it. They open a slight bit higher and just swipe it right through within 60 minutes. And within 120 minutes, you're almost at limit. Done. Okay, now we expect a projection here. We know our zones. There's only two things that could happen here. It's going to go down and spike below and come back above. You don't trade it till it clears this level back into the range. Maybe it'll make a better W and go higher. But once it paints the apex nadir, this is the apex, then you draw a line back on that and you refine the zone, refine the entry. Right? This is a 1 hour chart. We have a higher bias or higher interest in sell side because the averages are pointing down. Now, I don't remember if this is day 2 or day 3, but if this is day 3, then we expect a nice W formation and a pullback into the range. So a really good entry would be a W here, reject off the apex nadir and higher, and then the target, project the moving average. That would be a great target on the 200 or the 50. You'll probably do something like that. You could take some off at the 50 and target the 200 or just hold for the 200. And there you have it. There's a big fat multi-day W leaning on the blue tracers as a zone to give you an idea where it is. And you're going to use the higher side rejection because this is bookmap stuff right here. These boxes are bookmap stuff. So we know there was rejection in there. This thing is the point of control, right? It's the highest volume exchange. Why? Because they chopped here for a session and a half. Point of control sticking out, right? You don't need the tool to see that they're chopping here. The point of control is dead center of this. Do you need a tool to tell you like, oh, they're chopping sideways? Look at all that on 1 hour bars. What does that mean to me? Right through the middle of this crap is the point of control. So, and it's rejecting high side and it takes out the low, I like sell side in line with the trend that's currently working. And I got a target to the downside of yesterday's low or 2 days ago low. That would be a good target downside. And if that side holds, right? Okay, it approaches the blue tracer. What are we looking at? A tap and reject, or a through and back above, or below lower. That's how that works, man. The 5200 you're looking at on this chart is on the 1 hour. Those are not changed. This is an overall direction, right? And then the intraday direction is the 5200 on the 15-minute to give you the volume weighted moving average or the watermark. All right. I don't want you to spend time getting caught up in the averages. I want you to spend time getting caught up in flat prints, structural setups. All right. I want you to understand that when you get a flat print like this is Asia right here. Okay. So what did it do? It rejected, right around AR50, which also happens to be the point of control. And it rejected right there, and then it started breaking through. Right there, you got a close below. Now you're looking for a V pattern, pullback, sell. Right on the AR0, low side. AR0 low side sell, 2 hours of drop, sideways consolidation, lunchtime, and then another push to end the session. That's exactly what I explained to you tonight. My email address is steve@beatthemarketmaker.com. Just a quick note. If you contact me on social media, I'm going to ignore you till it's your turn. Or I might say, hey, not your turn. The email thing is always a problem for me. I try to be fair. Everything's timestamped. I try to answer in order. So what happens is people know that younger guys that are on Instagram and Messenger and all that, they talk to me on there. So to be fair, I have to look and see who was date stamped or time stamped ahead of you. I have to answer them first, then come back to social and say, hey man, this, and this. That's just the way it is. I've always tried to be fair and equitable. I don't want anybody feeling like they're getting special treatment because everyone in here is equal, and I have to try some way to answer fair and equal. And the only way I could do that is do date and time stamps on emails. So if you bypass the email line and stamp me in Instagram, then I got to wait until it's your turn and answer you. Might be a day, might be 2 days. I don't know. Just keep in mind, my kids are out of school and I'm trying to be with my family and take care of you guys. But you guys are the priority, I promise. Don't let my kids hear that. I take care of business and do what I'm supposed to do. So just so you know the difference between social and email, I prefer email all in one spot, but it doesn't work like that anymore. I'm a dinosaur, I'm old, I like email. But everybody hits me on social now, younger guys. All right? Okay, no, you don't have to watch the 5200 on the 1 hour, then the 15. Get that shit out of your head. You're looking for the Asian range, 3 pushes into a level, and then a flat print stop hunt reversal. You're caught up on something that's not important. You're caught up on background stuff. Should you try to follow the general trend? Yes. If the averages are pointing down on the 1 hour chart, then you're looking for a stop hunt high drop. That's all you need to know. Where will that come in? I don't know. But maybe it'll come in off the 200. Maybe it'll come in off the 50. Maybe it'll come in between them, a rattler. But if you get a rattler and you get a break to the low side, which is in line with the trend, okay. But price action trumps all this other stuff, always. It always will. What they show you and how you interpret what they're showing you is going to make the difference in the business for you. That's it. Nothing else, man. Right? Some people see this and think it's a sell. We know we're anchored here and we got push 1 and push 2. What happens after level 2? 50% pullback. This is a little deeper in this case. All right, listen. This session's for you. So you need to start the high-low drilled exactly the way I showed it, and I want your strings and I want your statement. Strings are, if you don't know how to do strings, real quick, last thing, and I'm going to go. You take the trade from the journal in the bottom of MT4 and you drag it up onto the chart and the strings pop on there. Okay, I want you to go back, get the slides, and do it exactly the way I mapped it out. And I want every Friday for the next 6 weeks. You don't have to give it to me this Friday. Do a week and a half and send it to me next Friday. I want the strings, man. There's no other way. If you do it the way I laid it out, you're gonna start to see success, man. Okay. All right, man. I'm gonna end it. I went a little long. I'm sorry. I've been trying to keep it around 45. I know everyone's got shit to do. It's summer. Still light out. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Good night.